take a moment to set aside everything that it took to get to this very moment. We allow ourselves to relax, to just take as many breaths as it takes, to loosen any tight muscles in our body, to allow our shoulders to relax, to allow wherever we're sitting or laying to fully support us, to just lean back and be in this moment. We feel the breath. We don't try to control it or make our breath any specific pace. We simply allow the natural pace, the natural rhythm. As we breathe, we know that each inhalation is the breath of God itself. We allow it to go through our lungs and feel as if it is moving through every cell of our body, bringing that life-giving oxygen, that renewal, that light and strength to every cell. As we exhale, we allow that exhalation to bring out with it, neutralized, any thoughts of worry or anger or strife. We just allow the process of breathing that breath of God in to neutralize any of those things right now, to just cleanse, to renew, to relax and release. And we do that with every breath in and every breath out, in the breath of God, cleansing, cleaning, transfiguring, transforming, and moving out, ready to touch the world again with that spirit and movement of God. We feel the shared presence of everyone here in this room. We include all of those in our virtual audience. And we pull that sacred group together, that sacred circle, that unity family. We send out that love within our heart to each and every member. In this room, those are sitting around us, in front of us, behind us, next to us. We feel that shared energy moving, enlivening, guiding, loving us through every moment. And we allow that presence of God awareness to fill every single bit of our awareness. We allow it to fill our bodies so fully that it spills over, moves to the people around us, moves to fill this room, sinks into the earth, bringing blessings, moves out into the sky, sharing love, sending it all around this planet that we lovingly call our home. That source, that presence, that force that brings all of us together, that animates our spirits, that guides our way. We allow it to continue to expand, to spread, to wrap this entire planet in a blanket of love. We allow that love to spread, to move through and within each and everything as we take just a moment to allow it to move and flow and grow in the silence. knowing that that energy continues. We bring our awareness back to this time, this space, this place. The awareness of the presence of God right now in this moment. And we move into the rest of our exploration, open, receptive, and ready to receive. For this opportunity, we say, thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. So now we're going to see, for a second, we're going to see a little bit of everyone's religious upbringing walk, probably when I say what I'm about to say, because you're not going to be able to help it, even though it's not the words you might have heard or have been used to. It is my glorious duty to say to you, may the fourth be with you. I heard the also with yous. I knew it would happen. And also with you. Yes. We know who is here that has had a Catholic walk or a different kind of religious walk. So, may the fourth be with you. I love that. So, I finally listened to last week's service yesterday because I really just had to find out what I said. So I knew that I probably couldn't step into today without giving you an update. So I will tell you, those of us who, and it's so funny because there are several of us now who are having app updates, conversations with one another, and we're all having these various experiences. And everything is a learning experience. Everything is a juicy, spiritual walk into the unknown where we get to decide, are we going to open our hearts and put ourselves out there, not just on dating apps, but are we going to put ourselves out there in line in the grocery store, at a doctor's office when we see that someone's looking a little stressed, in traffic when that person insists on doing the speed limit? How dare they? Are we going to open ourselves and the possibility in every single moment to be just authentically who we are, to realize that whatever is showing up, coming toward us from someone else, is about them? That we don't have to own other people's stuff, that we don't have to feel any less than because someone doesn't acknowledge something we say or do, and that it is about standing in our own presence of God, awareness, and owning the truth that we are all a part of all that God is. Now, even if you don't call it God, call it source, call it creator, call it universal law, call it whatever, the pulse of life. We are all a part of that, whatever our walk may be. So I will tell you, it has been a gloriously, spiritually juicy week. And more than just an update, I will tell you, so on this whole week, when I step into the May the 4th be with you. Now we're stepping into May, so it's a new month. You know that our theme for this year is thrive. You know, here 2025, it's time to thrive. So we're thriving in 2025. And every month we're going to be looking at some piece of where we might not be allowing ourselves to thrive, or what we might invite ourselves into to allow that thriving to really be more. And so May, because it's Mother's Day month, this month is all about nurturing the nurturer. And we are all nurturers. You do not have to be in a female body to be a nurturer. We are all nurturers. And so stepping into each new opportunity, the week that leads up to the Sunday is always a part of the alchemy that creates this time together. I don't know why I'm even carrying this. I never look at my notes, but I do have quotes on there, and I would like to say them today because last Sunday I didn't allow myself. But so it's about stepping into that nurturing. Well, this past week has been rich with the opportunity to watch this force of life that is pulsing through all of us, this oneness that we are all an eachness inside of, right? We're all connected. It's all a part of this grand, I got goosebumps, this grand oneness. And so each one of us has that individual expression. And we can create every moment realizing the sacred opportunity and invitation in it, or we can cruise right on through and be completely blissfully unaware. So Tuesday, we had our memorial for our beloved Todd, who passed the week before. Many of you came. Thank you so much. That was such a blessing to his family to see how much he was loved and cherished here at Unity. They have a very different religious walk. And when their pastor would not do the service because Todd was not a member of their church, they reluctantly invited me. And it was a beautiful dance of bringing together different spiritual walks and sets of beliefs to honor a family's process and the passing of a beautiful person. And it was a beautiful dance that we got to create, I got to create with his mother and grandmother to bring our faith walks together. And it wasn't an easy transition to make between those two initially, until we got to the part of the heart of the service and talked about what my goal for bringing everyone there together would be. And in the end, after all of the back and forth and after all of the worries that they had about not feeling represented in allowing this passage to happen, it was a beautiful service, and it came off seamlessly. And it was a place where everyone got to feel seen and heard and allow their grief process to move through. And I also found out the funeral directors can be big flirts at the same time. Who would have thunk it? We've decided that I'm apparently put on some perfume or something that... I don't wear perfume, but maybe it's my deodorant. I don't know. Yeah, it's Raining Men. Yes, we've been singing It's Raining Men for a little while here now. But it's so fabulous because that's so juicy in that moment of there's such a sacred happening. The funeral director came to me early in the getting the before service brought up, and he said, "You look really happy." And I said, "Thank you, I am generally." And he said, "Yeah, but this is a funeral." And I said, "And it is a sacred opportunity to help this family take this walk." And he said, "See, that's what I think, but not everybody feels that way." And so we stood there and bonded and talked about this sacred opportunity where in the passage of life, we get to stand in it how we're going to stand in it. We get to share what we want to share. And we had a lot of fun. And he gave me candy and water and had me drive to the cemetery behind him. And, I was singing, "I will follow him." And he said, "You know what the next line of that song is, isn't it?" He said, "You'll follow me wherever I go." And I said, "No, I don't think so. But thank you for the offer." So there it is, right? We're in this solemn, tear-filled, heart pouring out time, and right in the midst of it, there's all of life happening. In every moment, there's all of life happening. This force that moves through all of us. And the next morning, Mike and I were at a local restaurant having our weekly meeting. And as we're intensely discussing spiritual matters, we happened to notice in our awareness that there was a little bit of a something happening at the table next to us. And after a minute or so, I felt compelled to see if there was anything we needed to do to help. And I turned, and they were addressing a woman at the table, and I walked around the other side of the table, and Mike stood behind her, and I said, is there anything we can do to help? And they were on the phone to 911, and they were saying, "I think she's having a heart attack." And so I was, me, vaccinated with a Victrola needle, yelling out to the entire restaurant, "Does anyone have aspirin or nitro? Is there anyone that has any medical experience that could help?" And so at that point, we realized that, yeah, she's likely having a heart attack and we're in a serious medical emergency. So I went to the other side of the table, and the family was there, and the daughter was holding her hand, and these are precious, regular customers at this restaurant, and one of the waitresses was behind her, holding her and supporting her and alternating between pulsing on her chest and rubbing her chest and telling her to stay with them, and the 911 is coming, and Mike realizes that the paramedics are circling in the parking lot and are not realizing where we are, so Mike went out and got the paramedics and waved them in, and I stood across the table and held space. And as I was standing across the table holding space, the woman that was having the medical emergency locked eyes with me at one point. And one of the ladies at the table said to me, "What are you doing? Are you praying for us?" And I said, "Yes, I am. I'm holding this in sacred space." And she said, "Thank you so much." And I looked back to the woman, and we locked eyes again, and I honestly don't know whether she saw me or not, but while all of this was happening around her and people are crying and running and rushing and trying desperately to help her cling to life, she just quietly and very peacefully left. So in the midst of whatever we're doing about what's happening in front of us in life, we are invited to know that these transitions, small and large, these new chapters are opening, small and large, in front of us in every moment. You might be standing behind someone in the grocery store that you could stripe up a conversation with that is feeling so alone that they're going to go home and climb into a bottle. And that if you take a moment to engage them in conversation, you might change the entire rest of the trajectory of their day. This is how important our awareness of the power we carry within us is. Every single moment we are presencing the presence of God. Now we can do it unconsciously or consciously. We can choose to decide to be an on-purpose participant, or we can just ignore the chaos at the next table and go on eating breakfast. So we were there this week for this sacred marking of a passing, and then we were there the next morning for an actual passing right in front of us. And what happens in those moments, what we allow ourselves to take part in as that woman peacefully, the invitation for me in all of this was, looking into her eyes, I couldn't help but be transported back to looking in my husband's eyes as he released his last breath. And it did a little hooey on me for the day. I was really kind of worthless for the rest of the day. I went home and was trying to do stuff on my computer, and at one point realized I'm just staring at the screen. I'm not doing anything. Because I was transported to another time. There it is, that spiral that we're living in. One second we're here. The next second we're wondering if we forgot to turn the stove off at our house, or if we locked that door, or if someone needs us, or if there's a word we could say, or maybe we could reach out to someone new. So we have these opportunities. But what we need to also remember is that we are human in these divine skin suits, and that we need to process what there is there for us to process. Mike was reaching out to me all day. How you doing? Are you okay? We were trying to keep tabs with one another. For me, when things like that happen, I don't know about you, but for me, I've got to write it. Well, and write, type. I used to handwrite, longhand, and I dislocated my thumb a while back, and it's not the same experience for me anymore. So I will sit and type out everything that's moving through me so that I can remember it, so that I can understand myself and my process and learn what's happening in here when I feel a little sick to my stomach or when I feel a little concerned or worried. And so that piece is in the life. And my friend in the gym that ghosted me was the next morning. Yeah, I hear the, yeah. It was actually quite beautiful because when you've had a weird moment with somebody, you're like, should I say something? Should I break the ice? Should I stand in my justified anger, as it said in our daily word today? Should I just allow him to know what a jerk he is in my conscious awareness? In my choice of how to translate the moment? And, in unity, we just lead with heart. We can't help it. And we caught eyes a few feet away from one another, and I kind of stood frozen in place for a minute, and then I just did this and smiled. And we closed the distance, and we stood in like a 5-minute hug, and we just talked for a while, off and on through the time in the gym. Because there it is. We're offered the opportunity for communication in every moment. We all show up as less than our best way too frequently in my life. And we're all so connected, so intricately connected with one another, especially when we've taken the opportunity to stand in relationship with someone. It's too easy to turn your back and cross your arms and walk away. It's harder to look someone in the face and say, I was really angry with you, and I felt what I felt, and to give that person an opportunity to say something. See, there's this force. May the fourth be with you. And you'll notice that it's spelled, may the F-O-R-T-H be with you. So that was, good. I'm glad people noticed it. Because I always hear about the typos, right? Or the things that were put wrong. Like, no, Trish, it's May the 4th. The number 4. No, it's May the 4th be with you. Can you move forth in things in your life? Now, on our YouTube video, which, by the way, I need to interrupt myself for a minute and acknowledge this amazing man sitting over here streaming, Josh, who every week he streams this service, and he could just sit there and kind of allow it to flow by, but he's in there chatting with people that right now are watching us live. He cultivates the experience that the people have as they are part of our virtual community. And right now, we aren't just sitting in this sanctuary. Right now, there are people probably in 5 or 6 different states in the United States at least joining us this morning. And during the course of this week, there will literally be hundreds of people that will watch what Josh creates from this stream that we are streaming this morning. Because when he goes home after the week begins, he takes the whole service, and then he clips out the meditation and message and does an edited version of that and places it on YouTube for people who only have a few minutes just to catch the message. But he doesn't only do that. He puts these cool graphics in. He takes opportunities to highlight things. If I mention a location like last week when I said Dayspring Episcopal Retreat Center, he had a picture of Dayspring Episcopal, Retreat Center on our YouTube stream. And he chooses the most beautiful graphics, and he has music that surrounds it. All of this is a part of us translating this message so that other people may receive it. So we've got the hour and plus long service that's out there, and please share with people that if they go to YouTube or if they go to Facebook to Unity of Sebring, they're going to find us represented in a variety of ways. You got 20 minutes, you can just catch the 20-minute part of the talk. It's an amazing, wonderful ability that we have to reach out with tech, and Josh does it brilliantly. Can we acknowledge him, please? Thank you. Thank you. And in this room, though she doesn't necessarily need or want the acknowledgement, we have a beautiful angel here, Randy, who has made it possible for us to stream live to our website, which will be coming soon, that people will be able to watch the service live just on Unity of Sebring's website if they are not familiar with interacting with YouTube or Facebook or any of those things. So we're growing, people. We are just moving that energy, that force between and amongst us so amazingly that it is able to touch lives that we have no idea are even being touched. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And we're connected. And this force that animates us, I know I derailed myself, and I'm not sure where I went off, and I may find the thread again, but I may not, because we will run out of time at some point. But I want to show us this force that is moving through us that is invisible. Now, you can see it any day. If you walk into anywhere you're going, now it may not happen with every single person, but it'll happen with a healthy amount of them. If you walk into any room that you ever walk into and you catch eyes with someone and you simply smile, watch what happens. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to interrupt anyone's day. You don't. Simply show up open and with a smile, and you will have an effect on the room that you're in. Simply allow someone, oh my gosh, I love your hat. Or, oh, that's a great shirt. Or something like that. You know, it's fascinating, this force that we are all in. Many of you know I'm a huge thrifter. Most of you know that I have a jacket addiction. And I have way too many in my closet. And I also am not, though I am an incredibly prosperous human, I am not raining money on the universe around me. And I love thrift shops. I call it treasure hunting. And this morning, when I came in this jacket and put this jacket on, Pam said, "Oh my gosh, my mom had that exact jacket." And I said, "Are there any identifying characteristics in it? Because this might be your mom's exact jacket." That joining of things. See, I'm also I could be a Buddhist the way that I am because I'm all about, don't kill anything. I carry spiders outside. I reuse and recycle and upcycle as many things as I can. I try to keep the flow of energy going. But that's another part of this. So this makes kind of an obnoxious sound. Joan and I were talking about this this week. Wait, I saw you, Joan. Where are you? There you are. There you are. We were talking about this week because we did this at World Tai Chi Day, and I want to share this experience with all of you today. But it's a great way to look at the force that moves amongst us. So a little science for a second. Our body runs on electricity, and we have so much electricity that we could be we can create an electrical circuit and be a conduit to move that electricity through us. So much so that if I take something like this, which is just a little toy, and if I make an electrical circuit, once I connect that circuit, once I smile at someone, once I reach out in connection to someone else, I've started this new flow of energy. And once we actually connect that flow of energy, we animate something happening in this world around us. Now, it's really great to be able to see that we can do that individually. I'm sorry for the... Joan said that she had a teddy bear that would say something beautiful. So we are actively searching for something that doesn't go, but yeah. But it's not just me. So if I come down here to Paul, I don't know if the camera will catch this, so I'm sorry if it won't. But if I come down here to Paul, and if I take one end, and Paul takes the other end, and then if we connect with one another, sorry, Paul. Paul's ready to take notes until I come down here and mess with him. And some of you may not be able to see this here. Let's hold our hands up as high as we can. There we go. So if we are connected, now if we let go, we have the ability to connect, but until we actually do, now the flow is flowing through both of us. Now the force is with both of us. It's really amazing, isn't it? So we're doing that in small and large ways every day, everywhere we are. See, this is why I don't stand on the floor. 5 feet tall. Nobody back there can see me. They're like, she left. That's it. She's gone. I don't do this to be the sage on the stage. I do this because I can't see you. And so what we are doing in this sharing, when we consciously share, we're moving that force on purpose. That makes such a difference between just kind of, moving through life on autopilot. When we on purpose know that what I share with you makes a difference. The update that I told you about, since last week, I've also taken 3 pauses from that beloved, blasted app, because I've met all those people they warn you about on the apps. I've met them. I've had communication with some of them. I know some people don't use current pictures. Because I met someone physically in person this week and would have walked right by them if they didn't know it was me. Now they know it's me because I use like yesterday's picture, and I'll even send you more to show you my gray underneath, and yeah. So I've met that. I've met those lovely people that are out there for one thing. I've had some really interesting conversations this week that you would not think I was a minister. Yeah. And I've met someone local in our community that I may end up having a friendship with. So here's the thing. Everything in life can be something awful or something wonderful. The energy that you show up to it with matters. The attitude that you are willing to bring to it matters. If you are willing to say, oh my gosh, aren't you precious? Go find your sex somewhere else. And do it with a smiling face and know that that person is on the journey that they're on, and you're on the journey that you're on, and their journey really has very little to do with you, though it may intersect at points that could plant seeds and change lives. If we're willing to be that open, if we're willing to share with that degree of authenticity and heart. And then when the ghosting happens, or the anger happens, or the fear happens, we are willing to not close off and say, I'm just going to go be safe. I'm going to hit pause for a few minutes. And I'm going to know that not every person in the universe does that. And I'm going to know that if this is for me, well, no, everything that is here for me is for me. And that if it's for me, that means I'm going to learn something here. I might learn that this isn't what I want. I might learn that this isn't the avenue I'm going to use. I might learn that if I just am patient and take a step back, if someone ghosts me or says inappropriate things, I get a chance to stand in my clear communication, say what I need to say, learn something, and move on. Because the force is with us. It's the source. It's the source that animates all things. We're a part of it. We can't escape it. Why would we want to? And we can use it consciously if we step forward on purpose. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, said, tell me what kind of thoughts you're holding about yourself and your neighbors, and I can tell you just what you may expect in the way of health, finances, and harmony in your home. You cannot love and trust in God if you hate and distrust men. We're the agents for the divine. Myrtle, the other co-founder of Unity, Charles's wife, said, it may be, dear friend, that you have been trying too hard in a personal way and have not taken time to relax, to let go, and realize that I am in the Father and the Father is in me. Sometimes our attention becomes so engrossed in the things we're trying to do that we forget to unify ourselves consciously with the source of our being. Let's not forget that. Let's take that opportunity. We have these wonderful technologies. People are wearing watches on their wrists that are telling them what their blood sugar is. and how many steps they've taken, and how their heart rate has been through the entire day. There are apps on there that can help you meditate and move and meet people and do all sorts of things. How about we consciously connect with that technology? Set a reminder on your phone for every 2 hours or something to breathe, to stop and check in with your body and see if you're stressed. Let's use this stuff. We've created it. Let's make it work for us, because the force is always with us. We just get to use it on purpose or not. And I've said this so many times, but it's my favorite Charles Fillmore quote, and I'm going to close with that today. But also to let you know that when we do the peace song, I'm going to bring that energy stick out, and we're going to join the energy stick, all of us, okay, when we're doing the peace song. So we'll do that before we do the peace song, so that we can see that. But one of my favorite Charles Fillmore quotes that could simply not be more universally true: the quality of our lives is directly related to the thoughts we hold about other people. So we had our homework last week to have our list of great things are always happening to me, and to fill in that list. I heard from quite a few of you that you were doing that this week. So how about this week we take a few moments to check in with the thoughts that we're holding? Because whatever we hold in mind long enough and strong enough can't help but manifest in our lives. Let's manifest some amazing stuff this week. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Please visit www.unityofsebring.org for more information, to submit a prayer request, or to donate to our ministry. We hope to see you again very soon.